I am an eternal optimist. So please, God, don't tell me that you're an eternal pessimist.
I like to say I'm a realist.
Oh, it's great. We're going to go along great. This is going to be great.
This is Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
Crowd is here about to blow.
Pass is broken up. Packers make the play defensively. Stokes was there for Green Bay. They need it here, and it's recovered by Dillon. That's it. Packers win it by 31-30.
What's up, Wisconsin? Welcome in Inside Wisconsin Sports. Trevor Thomas, Josh Albrecht.
Hi.
Welcome back, my friend.
Thanks, buddy.
I'm so glad that we are over yesterday's pity party, man.
Oh, we are?
Yeah, we got to be over it. It's an optimist's worst nightmare.
I'm sure yesterday was fine for you.
Not great at all. It was just 3 straight hours of everything's bad.
Well, everything was bad.
Was. What? One day.
Okay.
We get one day. No pity party today. We got to move on. You and I have today and tomorrow, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, that's it.
Then Christmas break and the Ravens on Saturday. We are live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook, and we cannot get away from Joe Buck's voice. Josh, what was that?
That was the last time that the Packers and Ravens faced each other, and that was a 31-30 victory for the Packers in 2021, I believe. It was at Baltimore. No Lamar Jackson in that game either.
We'll take it.
But came down to the wire. They stop a 2-point conversion. They get an onside kick. Who knew the Packers could do that in big games?
That's cool.
And then, of course, the kneel down, and they go on to win the game.
Love it. So how about this game? Packers, Brewers, Badgers, Bucks, other. Let's get you caught up from the day yesterday and some of the news coming out of 1265. First things first. Coach LaFleur spoke not yesterday, but Sunday, because that was their Monday. Yesterday was their Tuesday. How is Malik Willis doing?
I'd say he's pretty sore. I mean, it's a legitimate deal that he's dealing with, and he's going to be another guy that just we'll see where he's at as we progress, and that further complicates the other problem.
Willis has a legitimate deal. To which Matt Schneidman in the presser said, what has he got? And Matt looked at him, Matt LaFleur, and just stared through him. I can't wait to talk to Schneid about this coming up later in the show.
Yeah.
And he goes, shoulder. That was it.
Okay.
Right shoulder, final play of the regulation game. Defensive end Montez Sweat blew up Jordan Morgan, sack, and he fell right on Willis's shoulder. Matt Schneidman did a great job on The Athletic of just recapping the game and kind of where things stand for the Packers. Go check that out if you're not a subscriber to The Athletic. Schneid does such a great job. There's that with Malik Willis, and then all of this tight end stuff. I think we have one left, question mark?
I think, yep.
Luke Musgrave, man. John Fitzpatrick blew out his Achilles. I know all too well that hurts. And watching that back, once you know that, you can see it happen. There's not been a single Achilles injury in any type of televised sports that once you know that's the Achilles, then you go back and watch it, and you're like, boom, there it was.
Yep.
There's the pop right
That's
there.
it.
The calf does that little spring action, and ball game. Yeah. So we'll have to see what happens with this whole QB thing. I mean, our option at the moment is to bring up the quarterback on the practice squad. That's Clayton Tune, a 2023 fifth-round pick of the Arizona Cardinals. I wonder if there is a Phillip Rivers-esque QB out there, though, for us if we need one. Is there?
That's a good question. I have no idea because I wouldn't even have thought of Phillip Rivers. And so the fact that he's playing football still blows my mind.
Nothing comes to your mind in terms of any of those old, like, is Cam Cam Newton still a thing?
Oh, I don't think so. He's been behind a desk for years, so that's what I'm saying. Like, if you would have asked me, is Phillip Rivers out there? I would have been like, no, he's at home taking care of 12 kids.
Yeah, what is that, by the way?
Got a lot of kids.
The concussion protocol is a thing for Love this week. We're going to watch Willis's shoulder, and if not, Clayton Tune. No pressure, bud. Did you see, Josh, that there was no heat?
Oh, yeah.
What is this? Here, let's replay this audio from the game on Saturday.
Well, a little bit development over here on the Packers sideline. It's cold over here, especially because the heaters aren't working and the bench for the offensive line isn't working. Tom, you know better about the rules than I do. If that happens, does that mean the Bears have to shut theirs off? Is that like a helmet situation?
I think so. That's definitely not what you're looking for in this temperature. And I think if it happens on one side, it's got to go to the other side. That has never happened to me in my entire career where the bench's heat goes out.
You can't make that up.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. First of all, against the Bears, but also like in Chicago, right? Like at Soldier Field. Dump. Which is what we call Wrigley. But what is this? Dump adjacent? I don't know. What do you call?
Dump on the lake.
Yeah, dump on the lake. There you go.
Dump on the lake. That's brutal. We never heard if they corrected that whole situation.
No.
They better have. Otherwise, there's a serious gripe. I mean, the Bears are there just warming their hands, all nice and toasty, and they don't work on the Packers sideline. That's absurd.
But also, if they did get it fixed, even if they didn't, I'm still a little disappointed in the reporting. Like, they did a great job of making us aware of it.
Right.
But then you can't take 10 seconds to even just have a camera pan to show that the heaters are working again. It was very evident when they are. You saw the flame. Like, you could have done something as a follow-up, right? You follow up with the injury reports. You can't follow up and be like, fire, heat's back.
Heat's back. That's my point. They never circled back, did they?
Nothing. No.
I wonder if they never worked.
But then if they didn't, how do you not have a follow-up of, hey, guys, went and talked to LaFleur about that, or just so you guys are aware, still no heat down here on the Packers sideline. I mean, nothing.
The only other Packers news out of this morning is that the Pro Bowl rosters get announced at 9 a.m. from the NFL. That's fan voting. Fans are out because Travis Kelce got the most votes, which is embarrassing.
Well, you think people are like all in their feels because he's probably going to retire?
He's done, right? Yeah. Probably.
But also, man, remember when the Pro Bowl used to mean something? Like, even not even playing in it, but just like the Pro Bowl nominee or getting the award of being a Pro Bowl. Like, now Pro Bowler, now it's what is it?
Same thing. The whole MLB All-Star game. Remember when it used to stand for the World Series home field advantage?
Yeah, that was my favorite. And and the NL lost all the time. And it still was my favorite.
Right. That's because we never had anything to worry about. But we did this past season. Moving on to the Brewers. Let's go. So on their Twitter, the Brewers are putting out the top moments of 2025. Here's one that was pretty big for Andrew Monasterio.
Fly ball, deep left, Monasterio, out of here! What else is new for the Milwaukee Brewers? Someone new stepping up, night in and night out.
Jeff Levering on the call. Off the bench, a pinch hit, first pitch, 3-run homer in the 11th. That was the sealing deal, Josh, for 14 in a row, the franchise record.
That was incredible. So
that was a good run. And the rest of the season was what it was. But here's what that sounded like when they won the 14th.
McLean, fly ball, center field. Lockridge is back. Lockridge makes the catch. 14 in a row for the Milwaukee Brewers. The hottest team in the land comes from behind, and they win it in 11.
So the streak ended immediately after that. I mean, it was over August 17th, the very next day. The run died. Contreras hit a go-ahead home run with 2 on in the 9th, but Cincinnati answered and won it in the 10th. So that was the end of it. It's hard to remember, based on the way the season went after that, and ultimately losing to the Dodgers the way they did, that was the pinnacle of Brewers sports fandom in my lifetime.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, last season was just wild. The whole thing was so wild of emotions. but it was, it's going to, like I said, right after the season, like this is going to be a season we remember for a while.
Yeah. Coming up at 6:25, and I have questions. The one we posed today, what franchise is the most frustrating to you, or maybe what's the least frustrating? Packers, Brewers, Badgers, Bucks, Marquette, maybe something else. I'll lead you to believe which one topped my list.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, probably yours too. The Badgers beat Central Michigan last night, 88-61. Here's the final call.
Wisconsin, a comfortable win over Central Michigan. They dominate the second half, score 48 points, and win 88-61.
They had to win that one.
Yeah, but it was nice to see them win in that fashion. Not playing poorly and then allowing, their opponent to stay in the game. And also a lot of threes, which I like seeing the Badgers basketball team making threes, because that is usually not their recipe. And then we see that in the tournament, and then they get beat by a team that does make a lot of threes. So if they can do that, that is more promising, assuming that they make the tournament. Gosh, please.
Seriously, what's that? Assuming they make the tournament. I hate that that's even a thought.
Well, at this point, Marquette's not. So, yeah, state of Wisconsin is relying on them and maybe UWGB to pull something out of the horizon.
Let's go. You imagine? Oh, I would take off for sure.
Yeah.
If GB is in the tournament, peace out. I'll talk to you from wherever that game is. Definitely going to be there for that. Real quick, Josh, the Central Michigan team is in the MAC. Anybody else in the MAC? Can you name one other team in the MAC?
No.
Not one?
No, because no. I feel like there's like 20 teams, and as soon as you say them, I'll be like, oh, yeah. But no.
I didn't know any until I pulled it up either. Just
okay.
Don't feel bad. Toledo's in that, though. Toledo's
perfect. Yep.
Todd Kowalczyk used to coach at GB. Packers, Brewers, Badgers, Bucks lost on Sunday.
Yeah.
End of report.
Yeah.
Is there any news on Giannis at all?
No, and it's I just
heard it here first.
I don't want to even talk about it. Like this team is just immediately puts me in an angry, terrible, mad place.
Moving on. UW River Falls is headed to the Stag Bowl. Here's what the final call sounded like for them.
Dave Harvey needs magic, and he needs it now. Harvey intercepted! It's picked off by Brady Block. His first career interception sends River Falls to the Stag Bowl.
That's a big deal.
Yeah, I have questions.
Go ahead.
Stag Bowl. What is that? What am I celebrating here?
Josh.
I don't know.
The Stag Bowl is the D3 National Championship.
Oh, okay. I've never heard it referred to as that.
It's relative top of mind for me. My brother played in the Stag Bowl 3 years in a row at UW Whitewater. They won it in 2007, defeating Mount Union. I was there for that. One of the top 5 moments of my life, man, watching your brother run around the field as a national champion.
Oh, come on.
It was insane. The year before, I was not responsible. So I vowed myself to get it together, Batman, and remember this one. And by golly, I did. Yeah, they lost the first 2 years. I didn't go the first year. I couldn't get off of work. The second year went hammered.
Yeah.
So dumb.
Yeah, and how'd that pay off?
I was a kid. I don't remember.
Right.
I'm fairly certain I asked for my wife's hand a week or two after that.
Oh.
Yeah. Let's just say my father-in-law was not impressed with my outing at the Stag Bowl.
Yeah, I've always had people talk to me, especially with Whitewater, saying, hey, Whitewater's playing in the national championship game.
Right.
Like, I'd never heard people say, like, hey, you going to watch a Stag Bowl? I would have been like, what is that? Is that like the Tostitos, toilet bowl? What is that? I don't know.
Since 2005, UW Whitewater has made 10 appearances, and they won in 07, 09, 10, 11, 13, and 14. We had Lance Leipold on the Inside Wisconsin podcast, and I found out that he's got some guys from Mount Union on his staff at Kansas. And I was like, do you ever, poke the bear and talk about all those, national championships? And he said, yeah, one day I said something about, boy, you guys must have a lot of trophies, second place trophies from all those years. And the kids that are from Mount Union go, yeah, we're going to have a bonfire with those one day. Leipold goes, big fire. UW Whitewater is the name for sure. River Falls headed there for what appears to be the first time in forever. The only other team in Wisconsin that's made an appearance since something like 2005 was UW Oshkosh. Went in 2016 and didn't win. So congrats to River Falls. I reached out to the SID at River Falls yesterday. That game is January 4th. So hopefully we can connect with the head coach, Walker, from River Falls and see how that run's going. What a game, though. Crazy, crazy outcome. Something sold in auction yesterday, Josh, that I wanted to bring you up to speed on. I saw this in the Green Bay Press Gazette. Did you know that the Packers had a stock certificate from 1935 sell yesterday? Take a guess how much.
Gosh, it better not be $15,000.
So there are stocks in 1923, 1935, 1950, 1997, and 2011. Those first 2 years are extremely valuable. This is according to the Green Bay Press Gazette. It sold for $109,800.
The stocks in general, right, don't actually mean anything.
Literally worthless.
Right. And so this is one that doesn't even have your name on it. And it's sold for six figures.
A fellow by the name of Mike Hammer sold it and said he was concerned that it wouldn't go for a high enough figure and that he'd regret parting with it. Turns out, not so much.
Yeah.
Almost $110,000. It was the first time a 1935 stock certificate was offered in a public auction and only the second known example.
So I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Did the stock certificates back then actually mean something in comparison? No, it was the same.
Never.
Like if you were a stockholder in the Packers in the 30s, it still meant just as much as you being a stockholder in 2025.
I would be led to believe that's so because it's always been run by a board, meaning there's never been an owner. When they initially sold stock for the team, that's how ownership happened. The first one happened in, I believe, 1923.
Yeah,
so,
I just wonder if like that shareholder meeting and everything else that they put out, if back then in the 30s, if that that was actually where people that invested in the team got a legitimate say because the team and sports were so much different back then.
If that's the truth, then no wonder it's worth $109,800.
Right, that's what I'm trying. I think that's why I'm asking because I'm trying to justify in any way, shape, or form that value in my head.
It's a collector's item for sure. Just the way those stock certificates looked. I mean, just really, really cool. All right, last one for me in the roundup this morning as we get you caught up from all things Wisconsin sports yesterday. Some headlines, some scores. Love for cleats. Jordan Love's Love for Cleats campaign. They need more teams to ask to be a part of this. I saw an article by Kendra Minert in the Green Bay Press Gazette. They are seeking Wisconsin K-12 sports teams that are in need of cleats. You have to get your application filled out by the end of the month, I believe. Yeah, the application deadline is December 31st. You can go to handsof10ve.org. So spell love with the number 10.
Not confusing at all.
Handsoflove10ve.org. What'd you say?
I said not confusing at all.
No, not at all. Handsoflove.org. Love is spelled 10VE. The recipients will be announced on Jordan Love's Hands of Love Instagram in January. So if you and your team or a team that's in your community across the state of Wisconsin on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network is in need of cleats, Jordan Love wants to help. The deadline for applications is December 31st. There's a little independent football league here in Northeast Wisconsin. And I know there's teams in Milwaukee too, because my son went and played at Port Washington. I feel like teams like that aren't affiliated would be good teams, or maybe the league could apply for something like that. These are 6th, 7th, and 8th grade kids running around in cleats that are way too big for them. It's fun to watch. All right, when we come back, I have questions, as does Josh. To you, what is the most frustrating or least frustrating franchise that we are a fan of here in Wisconsin? It's been a rough go. So let's just reminisce before we move on to the Ravens. That's next. We are live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. Good morning. How do the Packers rebound to beat Baltimore this week? We'll find out. Wayne Larrivee, the voice of the Green Bay Packers, this morning, 10 a.m., 9 to noon, with former Packers fullback John Kuhn on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. We are inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. We are also live on YouTube and Twitter. Join us there if you so choose. All right, Josh, we have questions.
When things just don't add up, Trevor and Josh ask the hard questions or just point out how messed up stuff is.
I only have one question.
Can you fly this plane and land it?
Surely you can't be serious.
Do you view this season as a failure?
You asked me the same question last year.
What's the most important question the Badgers have to answer Saturday?
This is a great question. Oh my God, this is a great question.
It's time for I Have Questions on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
The Nicolay Law Fan Talk and Text Line, 414-677-1250. Get your questions in or answer this question. Pause, by the way. Did you see Seth Rollins on the sideline at the Bears game?
Yeah, I saw him in a suite, too, during the game. Honestly, it made me so upset. I was like, I think we have to change. I have questions. Like, I'm hating, like, the theme. I am hating him even more, like, seeing that. See, what you didn't know, because I wasn't on the show yesterday and I didn't get my pity party vent session, I literally left group chats and had to ask to be brought back in after that game on Saturday night because I knew I would lose friends. I would say things that I would regret.
Things get very personal for you in sports.
They do, and especially in that way against that team. Like, I was just like, nope, can't do this. So when I saw Seth Rollins going, yeah, that, and I was like,
see, I knew he was a Bears fan. He came out in Bears gear at the NFL draft in Green Bay.
Correct, which I loved that then they traded that pick. They had to shoo him off the stage. I was like, good, get out of here. It was great.
His shoulder looks fine, by the way, but I digress. Yeah. So the question this morning is, what franchise here in Wisconsin is the most frustrating for you to be a fan of? Or if you would like to take it positive, Pete, which one's the least frustrating? Mm-hmm. In Matt's presser on Sunday, Josh, you don't know this, but somebody literally asked him this very thing. Matt LaFleur, how would you say being a fan of Wisconsin sports is in regards to these teams? What do you think?
They all suck. How about that?
Oh. Jeez.
Oh, that's going to be saved forever.
You're welcome.
They all suck. How about that?
Yep. Oh,
so somebody asked him.
That's not the right way to feel.
Yeah, that's the truth. Sometimes they all suck. It feels that way. That's not the truth necessarily in terms of actually sucking. But no, the question of Matt the other day was, does this loss hurt worse than in comparison to others? And he paused and he said,
they all suck. How about that?
Okay. Well, at least we're up to speed.
That's so good.
Josh, what would you say is the team that wins the most frustrating award for you?
Yeah, this is so the reason why I wanted to pose this question, why I had this question, was because it's not that easy for me. It should just be the Bucs, right? The Bucs are in such a bad place with not just how the team's performing, but then all the worry about is Giannis leaving. Like, the Bucs are literally just falling apart. But because they're at that point, I don't think that I can say that they're the most frustrating for me to watch or like team that I feel, just because my expectations are so low that it's not really frustrating. It's just like, yeah, that's a pile of garbage on fire over there right now.
So you went at this on December 23rd, meaning who's the most frustrating today? Is that true?
Yeah, yes. That's how this all got brought up, because after that loss, you know, and some in one of those group chats that I was in, you know, a buddy started just going down like, I'm looking for a positive somewhere. Which of my sports franchises can I look at with positive news? And there wasn't a whole lot. And so that's what kind of had this got this question going. I'm gonna go with the Brewers. Mm-hmm. And I hate that that's the case, but it's the most frustrating because you saw what they did last season, and then it looked like none of it mattered. None of it was going to even come close to mattering the second that series started with the Dodgers. And that is just so So frustrating. And I don't know that that'll ever change.
Well, optimistic would say it's gonna eventually.
Okay. Why?
Because there's always a chance. And the Brewers are in a really good spot right now. The way I looked at this is, how do I gauge my pain level when they lose? 3-2-1. 3 Bucks, 2 Packers, 1 Brewers. Like, the Bucks won it in 21. Whatever.
Right.
Like, it's not a thing for me. I'm not drooling over Giannis. I'm a Bucks fan, but it doesn't like lead my life.
Sure.
At all. I didn't go in 2021. I just didn't have this like massive urge to be down there in the Deer District. I loved watching it on Twitter and all the videos that came out. It was pandemonium. I bet you that was a blast.
Yeah, it was just the best sports moment of my life. But yeah,
not me. The second one for me is the Packers. It hurts when they lose, but it's not completely devastating, because I just talked to you and you said that, you had to leave group chats because it was going to get personal and all those things. I don't have that. But if you MF my Brewers, I swear to God, we will have words and hopefully not fists.
Yeah.
When the Brewers lose, I'm a hot mess, in a bad place. And after this past season, though, what makes them the most frustrating to me is it seems like we're not able to get over the hump, even though we've been this close so many times in my lifetime. And by the way, that's how I gauged it. From 1983 to current time, what's been the most frustrating for me as a Wisconsin sports fan? Undoubtedly, it's the Brewers, because I'm the biggest Brewers fan of all of the teams. So Brewers number 1, Packers 2, Bucks 3. Wisconsin actually probably beats the Bucks in my opinion, because when they lost the national championship to Duke, I remember where I was. I remember walking out of the building. The Bucks might be like the last. GB was more frustrating to me than the Bucks.
Sure. That's fair. We go to the Nicolay Law talk and text line, 414-677-1250. 262 says, the most frustrating for me is the Brewers. The lack of spending paired with coming up short when they do manage to make it far. The least frustrating is the Bucks, due to, for the most part, knowing where we stand each season. That's Jake and Dousman. So, yeah, I agree with him a lot in regards to the Brewers and just the feelings. I think it's not necessarily the way that the team plays. It's that the mentality is the bites of the apple, and, well, we keep giving ourselves a shot, but we've never been to the promised land in the team's history. We're one of, I don't even know how many teams now that haven't won a World Series. But the fact that we always have that looming over our heads, and we keep doing well, like you said, but we can't get there, is just so tough.
I spend no time thinking about the spending of the Milwaukee Brewers. Literally none. I don't waste time thinking about it. I don't have expectations of it. It just is what it is. It's been that way since the beginning, 1970. The Sea-Leagues didn't have majorly deep pockets to go and spend on Brewers teams. Still made it to the World Series in 82 because they drafted and developed. They got the kid, the literal kid. I just don't look at the spending and go, meh.
But they didn't. I mean, they had Raleigh. Like, they had some pieces that didn't start as Brewers.
Yeah, they definitely built up a team, and that's no different than the way this team has gone about it. I mean, I think we can all rattle off a bunch of different players that have come in year over year and go from there.
All right, and then you have the 920 that said it's the Packers by a mile. They've had the talent compared to other Wisconsin teams. That's Mitch from the 920. So that's a good way to look at it too. And I was curious how people would respond, because part of looking at these sports franchises and trying to figure out which is the most frustrating might just be the expectations. If you're looking at this Packers team and thinking, besides the 1 year where they almost made it to the Super Bowl when they weren't supposed to, the expectation has been Super Bowl every year. And we all know how that went through the Favre and Rodgers eras. And now, I mean, this year has just been the craziest swap of everything. I mean, you and I might have to suit up soon. The whole season, everyone's so hurt. It's crazy.
We're going to ask that question actually later in the show. If you were going to be the backup to the backup on the Packers, what position would you pick? There's a high likelihood that you're going to go in the game. You're the backup to the backup. Which position are you? That's coming up at 7:45. Plus, we're going to ask, what is the worst sporting event you've ever been to? And that's what we're talking about in terms of expectations and losses. There's a difference, I think, from a franchise comparison perspective, like what team is the most frustrating in comparison to what series or what game is the most frustrating. We can all look back at the Dodgers series this year for the Brewers and go, was that even frustrating, or did we literally not have a chance from the day we stepped on the diamond? One of the best series wins in Brewers history, in my opinion, was that Cubs series. You cannot draw that up any better for the Milwaukee Brewers to take that to 5 games and win it at home. Losing 2 at Wrigley sucked. Not a great big fan of that.
Sure. Of course.
The 920 says, Trevor, how can you say that you're one of the biggest Brewers fans when you threw a pullover away at the game?
That's a great point.
There's not enough OxyClean on the planet to fix that thing. That's why.
Doesn't matter.
I wish I would have given it to you.
One of the biggest Brewers fans wouldn't have thrown that away at a game. Come on now.
I wish I would have given it to you and gone, here, bud, I'm going to wash this one more time. One more, then it's yours. We've done everything to the. Eventually, kids, clothes goes bad. It was bad. It was done. It's like that Under Armour shirt that you can't get the stench out of. Everybody knows what I'm talking about, whether it's you or your kids. There's something that has that, oh, God, why can't I get rid of that smell? That was that jacket. My buddy is dealing with a smell in his truck right now that won't go away. He's thinking about trading it in. Okay? Like, smells are real.
Sure. But he's not
that makes me
throwing
no
it away.
less of a Brewers fan.
He's not throwing it away. He's trading it.
He's getting rid of it.
Yeah. You could have gotten rid of it. You could have donated it. That was the whole point. You literally, at a game, you threw it in the garbage.
What does that conversation sound like? I don't have that ability. Hi, I'm Trevor. I would like to trade you the stinkiest
No,
piece
you
of
wouldn't
clothing.
have traded that away, but you could have easily brought it home, washed it one more time, and thrown it in the donated pile to take to Goodwill.
Why? For somebody to go there, buy it, take it home, wear it twice, and for it to reek and go bad. Now it just caused a whole bunch more work for volunteers.
I don't know about that. I don't know. I think it would have sold. You would have helped a good mission. Nah, that's what you should have done. 715 says, it's 100% the Packers for me. Honestly, every game they've lost, they could/should have won. They beat themselves, and that makes them the most frustrating. That's Brett in Rib Mountain. Yeah, that's a great point. When it comes to expectations, you think that they should or could have won. There have not been blowouts for this Packers team all season long. It's either they kept all of them close, and they either could have won them or should have won them. That's frustrating.
LaFleur talked about that in his presser the other day, in that they are 3 plays away on special teams. 3 or now 4 plays away on special teams from being something in 2.
Yeah.
That's frustrating. And that is current for sure. Packers most frustrating, best teams, Bucks window closed, and that's okay. Choked in 2019 against Toronto, 2020 screwed by the bubble, 21 won, and 22 would have won if Chris didn't get hurt from the 262. One more here as we head to break. The 262 also says Brewers and Bucks hang division championship banners. Packers don't. Packers play for championships. Packers' expectations are just at a different level, period. Thus, the Packers are the toughest team to stomach when they fail. True. That's true, too.
See, but that's a different question. When we said frustrating, the reason why we said that is because I feel like when the Packers season is over, you're still not that far off from being right back on and going, okay, training camp will start soon. We'll make another run. We're going to get these guys back. Goody's going to draft, develop. You don't lose all hope. You don't go, God, this team's hard to watch. I don't know if that's the case with the Packers as much as
what
the other
about
teams.
now, though, with all these injuries?
Well, sure. Right now, it's very tough. But also, you throw your hands up. You go, well, what were they supposed to do? No one could play.
Yeah, the injuries are what they are. It's different than the Brewers not having a team that stands a chance against the gazillion-dollar Dodgers.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
When we come back, the most electrifying sound of the day from yesterday. Plus, we'll continue to read your texts and take your calls on what is the most frustrating franchise to be a fan of. What does the LaFleur coach, what does he say?
They all suck. How about that?
Got it.
Thanks, Coach.
This is Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Reminder, Wisconsin, if you missed any part of today's show, you can listen anytime on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Just search Inside Wisconsin Sports on your favorite podcast app. Hit the follow button, and then you can catch up on every episode, every hour, every highlight, every segment, whatever works for you. Check out Inside Wisconsin Sports wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. Trevor Thomas, Josh Albrecht, we are Inside Wisconsin Sports, and this is the most electrifying sound of the day.
It's time for
The most electrifying
sound of the day
The most electrifying
on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. Brought to you by Best Electric. Learn more at bestelect.com. Don't stress. Connect with the best.
Ball movement here, high-low action. Get that high post. There you see Janicki in the high post. Hits the high post, hits the corner, wide open three. Textbook zone offense right there. Man, look out.
And that play-by-play call from Brian Butch is our most electrifying sound of the day, brought to you by our friends at Best Electric. Remember, no job is too big or too small for Best Electric. Don't stress. Connect with the best. Call them today or visit bestelect.com. When I was home yesterday, having to be with the kids, had Best Electric come out, get some work done before we host Christmas. They did the best work as always. Big shout out and thank you to the guys at Best Electric.
Butchie doing the best work on the play-by-play yesterday on the Big Ten Network.
Yeah.
That's new for him.
Yeah, he got caught. He's doing his analysis on like a block, and then before you knew it, you're up, Butch. Keep going.
I'm going to go out on a whim and say that was when they did a 23-3 run in the second half and blew it open after a 40-28 halftime lead. 44 points off the bench yesterday for the Badgers in a big and much-needed win against Central Michigan, 88-61. The conversation carrying over from I Have Questions is just this. What is the franchise that is the most frustrating to be a fan of here in the state of Wisconsin? A lot of people are saying Packers for specific reasons. I say Brewers. Josh is talking about the Bucks and also the Brewers, but also the Packers. And Josh, let's be honest, it goes to a different level to you on the personal scale in regards to Wisconsin sports. But this one from the 808 seems to sum it up pretty well. When the Packers lose, I'm sick to my stomach. When the Brewers lose, my soul hurts.
Yeah, well said.
Seriously.
Well said.
There's no better way to describe that for me. That I am not happy when the Packers lose. I get it. I am not well when the Brewers lose, and I think those are very different things.
I think there's something, too, to be said just about, when you're following a team. Like sometimes you are watching a team go through their season, and you just also love the team. You love the way that they interact with each other, and then there are teams where it's just frustrating. You're like, God, I don't know. I don't like this team. But to that point from the 808, and that's not for every game, right? There's 162. It's not like if the Brewers lose a game in the middle of June, I'm like, in comparison to if the Packers lose to the Bears.
A little bit.
Yeah? Oh.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I don't take a Brewers loss well. I mean, my soul doesn't hurt after every Brewers loss.
Right.
But if they're on a bad heater the other way, I'm not, no. You'll learn. You'll see this summer. My soul will hurt from time to time.
No, that's one of the nice things for me with the Brewers is that because there's so many games, a loss here or there, I can really shake off and go, yeah, that sucks. Good thing they played today. Good thing they play tomorrow. Not
what
always
about injuries? Injuries, according to this Packers team, also doesn't make it great, but to me, that makes it better. So I have very little expectations for the Packers left against all the things that this team has been up against. And now Jordan Love and now Malik Willis too. Like, ugh.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying, specific teams. Yeah. Like, it's not necessarily the Packers franchise might put you there, but this Packers team is a frustrating one.
But I don't even find that to be frustrating. Frustrating to me is the controllables. When I watch and I see things that don't go our way because of bad play or bad decisions, that's frustrating.
But those have happened a lot in this season too.
True, but not injuries. Injuries I don't get frustrated by.
Sure.
I don't think you can. Unless there's something that we're doing wrong, but I don't know what that is. You don't know what that is. I don't think the physicians know what that is, if it's a thing.
Sure. But I'm just saying,
frustrating.
think about how differently all of this plays out if those frustrations and those frustrating moments that happen in the first 9 to 10 weeks of the season weren't there. If this team played the way that they were supposed to based on how they looked on paper. If they went out there and they just kicked ass, maybe we're not even having to worry about all these injuries because everything plays out differently.
I said yesterday in the show, too, and I'll say it to you just to get your reaction before we get to the top of the hour in the best segment of the day we call the Morning Mind Dump, where we just cut it loose. We cut you loose, too. The Nicolay Law Fan Talking text line, 414-677-1250. Get your Morning Mind Dumps in. I said yesterday, Josh, based on how well the Packers are yet still playing with all of these injuries, that Brian Gutekunst is the GM of the year, and it's not even close. Look at the injuries that this team has gone under. Devontae Wyatt, Micah Parsons, Jordan Love now, Malik Willis now, kind of a little, right? Josh Jacobs. Who else?
Tucker Kraft.
Now John Fitzpatrick.
Yep.
Evan Williams was out this past weekend.
Yep.
I mean, the laundry list of key players that are out for the Green Bay Packers is absurd and frankly would have folded any other franchise. And yet somehow the Packers, with their backups,
or their backups,
right, are still incredibly impactful. That is proof that we know how to build a team in Green Bay. Can't prevent injuries, but you can control who comes next. And for the Packers, that's proven to be something we can hang our hat on.
Yeah, they need to find a way to prevent injuries. Figure that out.
Any ideas other than bubble wrap?
No, I don't. Well, we had from Synergy Sports, we did. You know, there's some training you can do.
There is.
Let's start doing that.
I'd like to think the Packers know that.
I'd like to think so too.
The training staff is aware of some of the things. I mean, they've sent Christian Watson out of town. They did the same thing to Marshawn Lloyd. Like, go to these specialists. Didn't Christian McCaffrey go to Europe or something like that for his Achilles?
Yeah, I think so.
There's help out there. We just got to find it. The Morning Mind Up is next. We are inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. I am an eternal optimist. So please, God, don't tell me that you're an eternal pessimist.
I like to say I'm a realist.
Oh, great. We're going to get along great. This is going to be great.
This is Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
Huntley. Pass is broken up. Packers make the play defensively. Stokes was there for Green Bay. They need it here, and it's recovered by Dillon. That's it. Packers win it by 31-30.
That's the last time the Packers and Ravens played in a 31-30 victory for the Pack. Did you hear that, Josh? A Brett Hundley sighting.
Yep. Sure
it could
did.
be worse, buddy. Could be worse.
No, I think that wasn't Brett Hundley. That was Hundley for the Ravens. Lamar didn't play in that game. We both had Hundleys. Or Hundley.
When was Hundley the quarterback for the Packers? By the way, good morning. Inside Wisconsin Sports.
Hi.
Trevor, Thomas, Josh, Albrecht.
Hi.
Live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Yeah, I guess it doesn't matter, but that's relative to the conversation.
Well, our Brett Hundley played not this last time that they faced, but the last time that the Packers and Ravens faced off at Lambeau.
Got killed.
Yeah, it was 23-0 Ravens.
Yeah.
5 turnovers, 3 picks for Brett Hundley.
For our Brett Hundley.
Ugh.
Ugh is right. Speaking of ugh, let it out, man. Get it off your chest. Time for the morning mind dump.
I have voices in my head. They counsel me. They understand. They talk to me.
The coffee is kicked in. We're awake and ready to roll. Let's get some things off our chest and out of our heads.
You don't know what it's like to be me out here for you. It is an up at dawn, pride-swallowing siege that I will never fully tell you about, okay?
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore.
I'm in a glass case of emotion.
What we've got here is failure to communicate.
We've got no food. We've got no jobs. Our pets' heads are falling off.
It's time for the morning mind dump on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
The Nicolay Law Fan Talk and Text Line, 414-677-1250. Call or text about some things that you just got to get off your chest on this Tuesday, December 23rd. Now, I am not a Seinfeld guy at all, but somebody texted in and said, hey, it's Festivus. When are we going to air our grievances? I guess it's today.
Or every day at 7 a.m.
That's what we do. So if this is your airing of the grievances, go for it. But there's no reason why you can't do that yesterday or tomorrow or next week, Monday, when we come back. That's called the morning mind dump. So here's my grievance today on this Festivus holiday.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, not a Seinfeld guy, so let's just not go down that rabbit hole at all because I know nothing.
Yeah, that's okay. It's all right.
Josh and I talked ad nauseum about after the first time that the Packers faced the Bears this season, and then we were playing the Broncos, we as fans and the media could not stop talking about the Bears and how important it was going to be when they play them next time, which was at that point 2 weeks from then. Hello, the Broncos was in between there.
Yeah, and a lot of things happened in that game.
And a lot of things went wrong in that game, and now we've lost 2 straight because we lost to the Broncos and obviously to the Bears this past weekend. Did we learn our lesson? Sure didn't.
Nope.
Because now all we want to talk about is whether the Lions are going to lose and what's it going to be like to play the Bears again in the playoffs. Do it once, shame on you. Do it twice, shame on me.
Mm-hmm.
You guys, we got to stop. Hold on. Pause. Ravens, Vikings, then we'll figure it out.
Oh, and if you try saying that to the majority of the fan base, at least the people that I've talked to, they go, no, because if I'm not even worried about the Ravens, because if they lose to the Ravens, then nothing matters. And I'm like, isn't that even more of a reason to focus on the Ravens and not get ahead of yourselves?
I literally know, we all know, that if we beat the Ravens this weekend, we're in the playoffs. And that's all Packers fans really care about at this time. There are chances that we could still end up the number 2 seed. They're slim.
Very slim.
But there are chances. And there are chances that somehow the Bears don't make the playoffs and the Lions get in. Again, slim. So we really shouldn't be paying attention to what the Lions are doing and what the Bears are doing based on us potentially playing them in the playoffs. We can control our own destiny to get in. So let's just focus on that. Luckily for us, that seems to be what Matt LaFleur is focused on when he was asked this very thing in his presser the other day.
I want to get through this press conference and then turn my attention to the Ravens. The way I look at it, I know it might not be totally irrelevant, but the way I look at it is it's irrelevant. We got to handle our own business. And it starts with we have a home game, a great opportunity versus a team that's fighting for their playoff lives as well, and in the Baltimore Ravens.
Does that annoy you?
What?
That he's not paying attention at all to the other teams?
No, it doesn't annoy me. If he is in a situation where he knows that they have to focus on winning, that they have the ability to take care of business, and that what happens around them doesn't matter, then don't let that noise in. I feel like whether the team wants to admit it or not, that noise got in after Packers Bears at Lambeau.
The first time.
The first time. And it was celebratory. But going into Denver, and I know that then the injuries happened and everything fell apart, but it sure felt like that got into the locker room, that got into the heads of the team as well.
By the way, Bears clinched the playoff spot. I misspoke there for a second. We could say 1,000 things right, Josh, and not get a single text.
Oh, right.
You say one thing wrong. Woo! Hey, Trev, Bears are already in the playoffs. Hey, Trev, Bears made it. Hey, Trev.
Yeah, I don't think you said that. I thought you said that they didn't lock up the division, which is true. Aaron Rodgers helped both the Packers and the Bears take care of that, which we'll get to. We'll get to that in the next segment. But
gross.
Yeah.
So I think we're keeping our eye on the ball, which is important. But as Packers fans, how much are we paying attention to the Lions? How much are we paying attention to the Bears and what they're doing, knowing full well that it's almost a shoo-in unless something goes catastrophically wrong for the Packers? Can we play that out for a second?
Sure.
What happens if the Packers miss the playoffs?
I would love to say that it changes something.
Everything.
I don't know. Does it? What was LaFleur supposed to do with 70% of his team injured? What was Goody supposed to do with 70% of the guys that he brought in?
But we just talked about that. Goody's done everything that he needed to do to set the team up for success. They're in games against the best teams in the NFL according to record and placement in their division and or the playoff seeds. They're in those games with the majority of their key stars out. Hopefully that's not the case for Jordan Love this weekend, but let's just say it is. We were still able to move the ball with Malik Willis, who I also said yesterday, Josh, is the greatest pickup in Goody's tenure.
Yeah, I think until Micah Parsons, but yeah.
I don't know. Right now, I would still say Malik Willis is a better pickup for extending the play of the Packers. We said last week that if Jordan Love goes down, that's numero uno. That's key player number one. Micah Parsons are very close too. The defense was in the game without Micah Parsons, and the offense was moving down the field.
Yeah, but I think right there you're answering the point of I don't think you can be that mad at LaFleur. LaFleur is also dealing with losing.
No, that's
these
exactly
guys,
why I can't be mad.
But and he's keeping them in the game. He's still scheming and changing on the fly to keep this team in these games, keep it close. They've still kept every game close, even after losing Parsons, even after losing Love mid-game in Chicago, throwing in Malik Willis, not having Josh Jacobs throwing in Emmanuel Wilson. Like, he's still there. The only thing, and I've been asking for it all year, is Rich Bisaccia. But I don't know that if anything happens with this team going forward, they're going to get rid of Rich Bisaccia. He's just going to be there forever.
If we miss the playoffs, the coaching staff will change. All but guarantee on that. Here's the problem with where the Packers are at in regards to keeping their eye on the ball versus looking at all these other teams is preparation. Because whatever the Packers are doing to prepare the players to be on the field and focused in key moments in the game, but just in general, seems to be falling short. Special teams specifically. That play, Josh, I went back and watched it 1,000 times, that onside kick. Was that Romeo Dobbs' fault? Yes. Clearly, he needs to grab the ball with his hands and not try to scoop it into his chest. But the other 4 guys that were supposed to block so that if something does go wrong, they're not automatically there to jump on the pile, didn't do their job. At one point, when the ball had just started to hit Dobbs in the chest, every single Bear that was supposed to be blocked on that play was already between our defender, our special teams, and Dobbs. Not a single Packer was between the Bears and Romeo Dobbs as he was fumbling the ball. Not one.
Yeah.
Bo Melton, Javon Bullard, Josh Jacobs was in there on the hands team. Xavier McKinney gave a bump like Keyshawn Nixon tries to tackle.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. That's why, we're going to be mad at Dobbs, but Rich Bisaccia should not have a job.
But if that's the case, then how is Matt LaFleur, A, not making a change, and B, not holding something accountable to make the change during the season? I'm not even saying to fire him. I'm just saying, McFly, can we sit down and talk about this?
Well, but that's it. I was asking these questions in like week 4 or 5, and I was told, that's just they already have it all planned out. And so if you get rid of a coach mid-season, it's not changing anything. It's just you have a different guy running the same schemes, the same plays, the same everything else, and now it's causing more turmoil in the locker room, blah, 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 blah.
Is it week 17 this week? There's 18 weeks total, but they play 17 games, correct?
Yeah.
In week 17's post-game press conference, following the game and again on Sunday, the words, "we need to coach it better," have come out of Matt LaFleur's mouth. Too late. If we need to coach it better, we should have been coaching it better with some sort of change throughout the season. Again, talking specifically special teams here.
I agree. I agree, but I've given up hope. I've given up hope that something actually changes in that regard. It's either going to be all of it falls apart or none of it does. The Packers just seem to keep it together.
There's a lot of people comparing this team now to the 2010 team.
Yeah, they've been
Somebody
doing
just
that all
texted
year.
in about this. Well, have they, though, or is it really about these injuries at this point? I mean, 2010, sure, in terms of like year 3 starting for Jordan Love and a lot of those other things. But 2010 was really behind the 8 ball in terms of their injuries. The 920 just texted in and said there were 10 players on the IR when they won the Super Bowl. How many are on right now? If they don't make the playoffs, there better be a change to some of our coaches. I think Matt is probably safe. I do not.
I mean,
how many guys are on the IR right now?
Yeah, we'd have to check.
I mean, we can rattle them off. Devontae Wyatt's on the IR. Elton Jenkins is on the IR. We didn't talk about him earlier. Tucker Kraft, Micah Parsons. We should have been writing these down.
Or at least keeping track.
But even that, those 4 or 5 guys that we just rattled off were all starters.
Right. Right. That's the thing, too. Looking at the 10 that were out in 2010. Like,
how many of those are starters?
Right. Or who was immediately behind him.
The 262 says, why didn't they just tell Romeo Dobbs to knock it out of bounds? Why did he have to try to recover it? Why didn't he just try to slap it out of bounds and beside you say, hey, if you're by the sideline, slap it out of bounds? You know who had a front row seat to that? Rich Bisaccia was literally
he was right there. Yeah. That's a good question. I honestly thought about that too. I'm sure. You know why? Because that's not how they're coached. They're not coached to do that. They're coached to, go attack the ball. At least that's what everyone said. That's how you're supposed to do it, is attack the ball, and that's just not what Romeo Dobbs did. Oh, God, that's so frustrating.
The Nicolay Law fan talking text line, 414-677-1250. Let us not slip back into a kitty party Tuesday.
Angry.
Yeah, slow. Somebody earlier texted in about the morning mind dump and or what was offensive about being a fan of some teams. By the way, there's another conversation coming up, a few actually. When we come back, we're going to talk about Take Back Tuesday. Josh and I went and pulled the audio from our top 5 on Friday. We each gave the reasons why the Packers would win if they did these things and or why they would lose if they didn't do these things. Apparently our crystal balls are real good.
Yeah. Yep.
Because horribly frustratingly, we were really, really on with this one. So we'll do that.
I hated it.
Yeah. We'll do that next. Plus, if you were going to be the backup to the backup, what position would you pick? The Packers are banged up. We now know that Malik Willis is also dinged up after the game, and Jordan Love is still in the concussion protocol, which I think takes 4 days to clear, if memory serves me right, from my son getting a concussion. Is it the same for those guys? I have no idea. But it was at least 4 days until it was returned to play or something along those lines if you passed your concussion tests.
Mm-hmm.
If you're the backup to the backup, what position are you playing? I think I'm the kicker.
It's a good question.
I think I'm the kicker.
Mm-hmm.
Matt Schneidman joins us at 8. And at 8:20, the question is, what's the worst sporting event you've ever been to? I would think the NFC Championship game against Seattle and this Chicago game from this past weekend, if I was in attendance, I'd probably never go to another game ever again because I never want to experience that type of loss, that type of heartache. Obviously, that's not true, but at the same token, you don't forget the bad ones. You remember the good ones, but you never forget the bad ones.
Well said.
When we come back, it's a Take Back Tuesday here on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Time for a Take Back Tuesday. What did we say that was maybe not great that we got to take back? What did you say? The Nicolay Law Fan Talk and Text line, 414-677-1250.
We give you one day. We give you 1 day a week.
Yep.
To take it back. It's just Tuesdays. Take advantage.
So we started a new segment last week called Top 5 Fridays, where we're going to give a top 5 of just something random. But last weekend, it was what do we have to do in order to beat the Bears, and what can't we do in order not to beat the Bears? And what we said was eerily correct.
Yeah. Yeah, I absolutely hated it. And we're going to run down through those. But I think it's most important. So a lot of it's going to be bullet point and we'll react. But if you go back and listen, and you don't have to, you can listen to it right now. The first points we make for both of our top 5 lists, mine and yours, were just insanely big in this game.
Prove it.
Here's my first answer. Number 5 is no special team mistakes. No points left off the board. No, we're letting them bring the ball back to the 20. No huge returns from them. No fumbles from us. No, it just special teams doesn't have to have a great game. They have to just no mistakes.
Whoops.
Oh,
Is that your fault?
I mean, the biggest thing that happened in the game that ended up costing us the game?
Well, and so no special teams mistakes was your point, but fairly certain all of the things that you said within special teams also happened.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is this your fault, Mr. Superstitious?
Listen, if it is, let me tell you, we're never doing another top 5 list that ties into a game ever again. I will not be participating. I will go, all right, top 5 sandwiches. That's what we're going with, because that sucked.
That was insanely accurate. What was mine? I don't remember.
Let me tell you.
We cannot blow it in the red zone. Oh, good. Can't. Too many games this year, especially against the Broncos. We got down into the red zone territory, and we kick a field goal. And I can't help but recognize that from other games in the Packers season. We're not going to be able to only get 3 points numerous times. I'm not saying field goals won't come into play, because we all know they will. But by golly, when we get into the red zone, man, we got to capitalize on that. Dude.
Is this your fault?
Wow. If so, I'm never doing another top 5 list ever again. Holy, that's awful. That's awful.
Is it not crazy? The 2 biggest negatives in this game were the first 2 things that we said this team cannot do if they're going to win this game.
You've been saying it all year, Josh, that the Packers beat the Packers.
Yes.
Those 2 audio clips are proof that the Packers beat the Packers, because if they don't do those 2 things, they win this game.
And they were also the first 2 things that were top of mind for both of us when we made our top 5 lists of, okay, clearly both of these things can't happen. And they both happen.
That's got to be top of mind for the coaching staff, right? Like if they had their own top 5 list, those should have been 1 and 2 in no particular order.
Absolutely.
How did that? What were the rest?
Yeah. So here's the other 4 that I had. Number 4, offensive weapons need to show out.
Whoops.
Yeah.
Did they not show out though?
I mean, they were okay. Yeah. I think that the offense was okay in that game. It kind of tied into yours though. It was frustrating how they fell apart and they couldn't get in the end zone. I mean, they got there. They had those opportunities. They made big plays to get there, but what was the point if you can't score?
Yeah, I mean, the offense did look pretty good. Quick box score check. Jordan Love had 77 yards before he got hurt. Malik Willis was 9 of 11 for 121 and a touchdown. Emmanuel Wilson had 82 yards rushing. Josh Jacobs only 36. And Romeo Doubs, 84 yards receiving and the touchdown that he caught. So the offense did move the ball. It just stalled again and again and again.
Yep. Number 3, Jordan Love's got to ball out. Number 2. Yeah. So hard to ball out when you are in concussion protocol.
They asked Matt LaFleur what he thought about that hit.
Yeah.
And he shockingly didn't give an answer. He stared through Bill Huber and said, "What do you think of the hit, Bill?" And then he goes on to say, "I thought it was a hard hit, and that's part of our game." Do you think that was a malicious hit, Josh?
I don't know. It might have been.
It's the most realism answer ever. Well, you just pick a side, for God's sake.
The thing is, it's too hard to tell, because if Love doesn't lower his head and he still gets lit up like that, then sure.
If Love doesn't lower his head, he takes the crown of the Bears helmet to the chin. To the chin.
Yeah.
If he doesn't protect himself with his forehead.
Yeah. Then it was.
I think so.
Okay.
I absolutely think so. I don't see any reason how watching that play in real time or in slow motion at any point, like, that should be ejectionable. Is that a word?
It is now.
Sounded good.
Yeah.
Thank you for your cooperation. I made that one up like a decade and a half ago.
I
That's
like
cooperation and participation in one word, by the way. Thank you for your cooperation.
All right, so that was
number 2.
That was number 3. Number 2, the Packers secondary has to step up. There was another opportunity for X to make a pick. That didn't happen. Nixon still didn't have a great game.
Sure didn't.
So that didn't happen.
Caleb Williams was 19 of 34 for 250 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Yep.
Bad.
And then number 1, Matt LaFleur has got to be aggressive, and it's got to be at the right times. Woof.
Well, he was aggressive at the wrong times.
He was aggressive, but I was afraid of that. I was literally afraid that he was going to come into this game going, "Hey, we've been aggressive. It's been working. We got to keep being aggressive." And it didn't pan out. And
Matt
that's the frustration we see from Detroit.
Matt always says it has to do with the position of the game and whether he's going to be aggressive or not. That's not the same for Dan Campbell. He's just pure aggressiveness. And I think that's the hardest part about watching the Packers is we're not sure when he's going to be aggressive or not be aggressive. And what makes it worse is we don't know the situation he chooses to be or not to be, because it's confusing. He's super aggressive in points where we're like, well, maybe we should take the points here, like in the beginning part of the game against the Bears. Or he's not as aggressive as we would have liked him to be in certain scenarios later in the game.
And some people, we talked about that last week, and some listeners on the Nicolay Law Fan Talk and Text line said, yeah, but if we don't know, neither does the other team. And so it can be an advantage in comparison to Dan Campbell, where the other team just knows, well, the Lions are going to be aggressive. The difference is that that plan only works when then the times you plan to be aggressive pay off. We all, at least I did, I questioned immediately when Ben Johnson didn't go for 2. I think we all thought he was going to go for 2, try to win the game. He kicked the field goal or the extra point to send it to OT. I went, oh, okay. He wasn't aggressive. The commentators were like, I thought for sure he was going to go for 2 there. Well, looked like ended up being the right call, right? They had all the momentum. They end up tying the game. The Packers even start with the ball. They do nothing with it. It was all over from there. All right, here's the rest of your list.
Number 4, we need to be sure that Jordan Love does not have to scramble. Stay on your feet, bud.
Yeah, well, again, hard if he's not playing.
Number 3, we have to be sure that the Packers stop the Bears' rush. Yeah, that worked.
Yeah.
They did that.
Yep.
The Packers definitely stopped the Bears' rush game. I mean, they had, 58 yards from Swift, 50 yards from Monangai, and Williams had 30. Yeah, I think that worked.
Yeah, you take that.
Passing, not so much. Number 2, the Bears cannot not pressure Caleb Williams. They have to somehow get pressure on Caleb Williams. First off, I don't know if that was English either. What did I say?
It's like a triple negative.
Yeah, perfect.
They cannot,
major.
Can't, not. They got to get pressure on Caleb Williams. That's the point.
Number one, we cannot turn the ball over.
Like on an onside kick. Or
that's not the worst one. The worst one's Josh Jacobs in the red zone.
Yeah.
That turnover killed us. And the problem was Josh Jacobs probably shouldn't have been in that game.
Right. And then I don't think he came back in.
He sure did when the hands team was out there, though.
Well, but I'm saying
that was so.
Did he have another carry? I don't think he did after that.
No, and LaFleur said that Emmanuel Wilson was running really well, right? And Josh Jacobs was banged up. But if that's the case, back to Rich Bisaccia, then why is he out there on the hands team at the end? Josh Jacobs didn't touch a soul on the block that he was supposed to make, and then stood there with his hands on his helmet and said, "Oh, geez, oh, God, oh, crap, oh, no." Like barely any of the guys other than Keyshawn Nixon running in from behind Romeo Doubs was there to jump in the pile.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Brutal.
Hey, I wanted to give you an opportunity I just wanted to gauge if there's any other takebacks on a Take Back Tuesday you might want. I don't know if you saw this piece of audio.
What's up, Avante? How you doing, brother? Good to see you, man.
Good to see you. Good.
What year is this for you now?
8.
Congrats, man. That's awesome.
Appreciate it.
That's awesome.
Hey, you.
21.
Legend.
Hey, I respect the game, brother.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate
And the journey, too, right? V19! V19! Go, Cliff! Oh, you don't want me to help you pick you up? Why? Because you slower than a 42-year-old? Is that why? You're slower than a 42-year-old?
That's Aaron Rodgers mic'd up in a game against Detroit that ended up helping the Packers. And it also helped the Bears, but did help the Packers do one of the things that needed to play out, including the Lions getting a couple losses. Aaron Rodgers helped them get the first one. Anything you want to say to Aaron Rodgers there?
Absolutely nothing.
Oh, okay.
Nothing to take back from that
All
whatsoever. Right. Was I glad that the Steelers beat the Lions? Yes. I have nothing to take back about my feelings about Aaron Rodgers.
Okay.
Absolutely nothing.
Hey, I just wanted to check.
But you know what? That was a good mic'd up audio from him. And that proves that he's worthy of miking up, no different than some of the other quarterbacks. I mean, has Phillip Rivers been mic'd up yet?
Since he's been back on the field?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good question.
We gotta. Somebody has that, right?
Yeah, that's got to be out there.
I definitely want to watch that. All right, when we come back, a question for you, and we'll review kind of the situation with the Packers quarterbacks here in regards to Jordan Love and concussion protocol and Malik Willis having a banged up right shoulder, and then what, right?
Yep.
If you were going to be the backup to the backup for the Green Bay Packers, you have to pick the position. You're third in line to the presidency. What position are you choosing to be the backup to the backup? Knowing full well, especially with this Packers team this year, there's a high likelihood that you're getting into that game. What position are you choosing? And do we need to go get another quarterback? We'll hear from Matt LaFleur on all things Packers QB situation up next. We are Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook.
Packers have a situation where Love is still in protocol. Malik Willis banged up his shoulder. Now, the good part is I don't expect them to go sign another quarterback, which tells you that at least one of those guys should be able to go on Saturday. They have Clayton Tune on their practice squad. If one of them can't go, obviously they'd elevate Clayton Tune, and he would be the backup for Green Bay. But it sounds like they're not going to make another move for a quarterback.
Okay, Adam Schefter said it. Not going to make a move for another quarterback. We know absolutely nothing about Clayton Tune, which is supposed to be that way, right? That's exactly how this is supposed to go. We're not supposed to know anything about the third-string quarterback or the practice squad quarterback. All of this third-string quarterback stuff started, by the way, back in the transition from Brett Favre to Aaron Rodgers, and then Matt Flynn and Brian Braum were drafted thereafter. It was at that moment, if memory serves me right, that the Packers stopped carrying 3 quarterbacks on their active roster. That was the thing for a really long time. But they recognized that the only thing that the third quarterback was doing on the 53-man roster was holding a clipboard. Turns out that's not necessary.
Oh, but what a great job if you can get it.
Right? Full player salary. Here, grab this clipboard. Perfect. You're never going to play. Okay.
But the check's coming in, right?
Boy, it clears too.
Yeah.
So if you were going to be the backup to the backup on this Green Bay Packers team, what position would you choose? The Nicolay Law Fan Talk and Text line, 414-677-1250. We'll get to your answers. But first, hey, Coach, what's the plan for the backup to the backup?
I think most teams in the league, you prepare for it and you take a little bit of time, but it's not like you're dedicating a whole bunch of time for those situations in the event that you need to have somebody come in as your third quarterback. Usually if that happens, it's all bad. So it's, time spent, value received kind of deal. But if it does get to that point, I mean, you have to have some sort of plan. It's just, I haven't seen many of those that are very good plans yet up to this point.
It's all bad, is what he said.
Yeah. Well, he's not wrong. Yeah. I do remember at one point there's an audio clip out there of, I believe it was Buck and Aikman talking about John Kuhn. If Rodgers' backup, whoever was in for him, went down, John Kuhn was the backup to the backup to play QB.
Would that have worked?
I don't know. John probably thinks so.
I don't 100% think so. So, okay, to that note then, who are the guys, Coach?
We have 2 guys that we can potentially go in there.
Okay, got it. So the next question he was asked in that press conference was, well, who? And he said, why?
Josh Jacobs is one, and then Jaden Reed is the other.
Perfect. Josh Jacobs is banged up.
Yep.
Jaden Reed's not exactly 100% healthy, especially after he ran into Christian Watson. And they were both down for just a hot second.
I do got to say, if Josh Jacobs was healthy and he could sling the ball, I'd much rather have him. Although Jaden Reed has some speed, but I don't know. Is this Wildcat? Is he going to run? Is it, you have your running back there essentially, but.
So if you were going to be the backup to the backup, Josh,
yeah,
on this Green Bay Packers team, what you very likely will go in the game based on injuries this year? You're going to be suited up. You got the pants on, the shoulder pads, the jersey, the helmet, and you are plan C.
Yeah.
What position are you in?
Yeah, I'm kicking the ball, kicker or punter, one of those two. I need to be, for me, I am all pudding. I need to be in a position to where if you hit me, you're getting a penalty. If you touch me in some way, shape, or form, don't do it. Don't touch me. You're going to get a penalty. If I'm in a position to where it makes sense for me to get flattened, I'm only going to be in one play.
That's it.
So,
then they're going to need the backup to the backup to the backup.
Yep, 100%.
My first thought was kicker, but the more I think about this, I want to be the guy that holds the kicks, the holder, and I think that's the punter on this team. That's Whelan, right?
Yes.
So if that means I'm the punter, so be it. Because the Packers, especially of late, have not punted much, if anything at all.
True.
So the backup to the backup punter is the choice I would have. Now, if I have to go in and hold, there's a whole lot wrong going on in this Packers team. And if they're expecting the backup to punt, I would like to think we'll just keep trying for it on 4th down, and I won't need to punt at all. All right, so you're going to kick. I'm going to punt and hold.
Yeah.
What says the Nicolay Law fan talking text line? 414-677-1250.
Bricky in the 920 says, I'd be the backup to the backup long snapper. He can't get hit. He's a defenseless player. There you go. And how often are you in? So it's Bricky, you and me. We'd be all be on the field at the same time as backups.
Can you imagine those 3 people walking out there? All right, we're here.
What could go wrong on this play?
Just standing in the middle of the field. All right, now what, guys? We're here. Well, the clock is ticking. What do we do now? If you had 10 long snaps, Josh, I think what is it? Is it 11 yards? How long is the long snap?
I don't know. That's
40 to 50. Is it? It's a ways. If you had 10 of those and you had to put it through a tire.
No.
How many?
None.
Could you do it without falling over?
I'm going to say yes to that, but and if you're giving me 10 chances, the answer is no. I'm not getting one through the tire.
I feel like this is a bit. How far is it? Did you search?
It says about 15 yards for punts and around 7 to 8 yards for field goals / extra points.
All right, so we'll take that one.
Okay.
7 to 8 yards. I kind of want to try this. This might be a bit. This might be a video for us online.
Okay.
If you had to long snap through a tire, well, let's just call it an even 10 yards. How many would you put through a tire? I'd like to think I have a chance at least 1 or 2. None for you?
No.
Can you make it there?
Yeah, well, I'm sure I can get it there.
And not fall over, though.
I'm sure I can get it there, but it's going to be like, as if I'm throwing it with my opposite hand. Like, it's not going to be a tight spiral or anything going back. It's going to be like a pop-up. I'm essentially going to be hiking the ball, popping it up in the air. That's why I was like, there's no way it's going through a tire. No way.
The 920 says linebacker. I think I still got a few more concussions left in me.
Good on you.
Nikki in Greenfield says, I once heard something along the lines of, if you're on your 3rd QB, you're screwed. And NFL teams don't practice screwed. So what I hear all of these people saying, Josh, is that no matter the plan, Coach LaFleur, how do you feel about, I don't know, any of the plans for the backup to the backup, or what are any thought on all of those scenarios?
They all suck. How about that?
Got it.
Yep.
It's all bad.
All bad. Q on the YouTube stream says, can we get a backup to the backup at head coach? Seriously. Can't be any worse.
Who would go in as head coach right? Here's the problem. You know who goes in as head coach right now? According to the depth chart of
don't
coaches.
You dare say it.
I swear.
Why would that be the case?
Because he's the assistant head coach.
Oh.
It's Rich Bisaccia.
Oh.
He goes in as head coach. I almost guarantee it.
My skin is.
Did you just get goosebumps, crawlies from that?
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
That's why you had to leave the group chats, huh?
Oh, I'm not good with that, man. We are not on good terms right now, Rich Bisaccia and I. I was going to say, like, if it was Halfley, I'd be like, well, it might not be the worst thing in the world. If that Bisaccia? No.
I'd almost guarantee it's him. We all want it to be. I wonder what the answer. You know what? Matt Schneidman might know. Who is the backup head coach? If somebody accidentally takes out Matt LaFleur, or if he gets hurt on the sideline, or something happens.
Which that has happened once, right? Wasn't there a situation where a coach went down during the game?
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember if it was in the NFL or college, but it's not like someone did actually get hurt and have to like get helped out. Well, maybe it was a ref. I don't know.
Matt LaFleur's first season here, if memory serves me right, don't quote me on this. He blew out his Achilles, and he was at training camp or practice on a golf cart because he couldn't get around. So, I mean, these things happen both professionally and personally. Who would be the backup head coach? There's got to be Jeff Halfley, but I don't think it is.
No, well, and now I'm thinking maybe it wouldn't be because Halfley's upstairs too.
Right. But can somebody else go up there in place of him? Like, now we're talking about the backup to the backup. See?
Right. If someone else, well, maybe that's why it should be Bisaccia, because he's not doing anything anyway.
Who's going to take over for special teams if he's the head coach?
A can of beans would do just as good. Sorry.
Pinto beans?
It doesn't matter.
Green beans?
It can be an empty can.
Matt Schneidman joins us at the top of the next hour. He puts out some really good stuff on The Athletic, and he wrote an article about all of the things that we're talking about in regards to what's the situation with the injuries and what do we do at the backup to the backup.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think? What position do you think he's a little fella?
Oh, I think he'd go kicker. He's put out videos of him kicking field goals.
Yeah. Him and Rob did that. And
Yeah.
Was Wes a part of that?
Yeah, he'd go kicker for sure. But we'd have to tell him, hey, kicker, punter, and long snapper are already taken. now what position would you go with?
Yeah, because you can't be – we need you to be the backup to the backup. You can't be behind us.
Yeah.
You have to pick a –
We're fielding a backup to the backup team. You want to join our backup to the backup team? Let us know what position.
We could really use a center. Maybe a quarterback. That would help. Oh
That's amazing.
You know what? At the end of the day, these plans, they just all suck.
Yeah, they all suck.
They all suck. How about that?
The Matt LaFleur one-liners that we've gotten out of his press conferences this year.
Yeah.
Fantastic. I still want to bleep things from him that don't deserve to be bleeped. Like, I want to spend some time taking one of his pressers and just bleeping stuff that had no reason to be bleeped.
I just want to, maybe at the end of the season, put a little montage together of all the beautiful things he said.
We got 6 more games, right? Scoff?
I can't. I'm not there. I'm not there, bud. Sorry.
Neither am I. Neither is any of us listening to this radio station right now. But by God, we can hope, can't we?
And we have no choice but to. They're still playing football.
Yeah, ish. Still play football-ish. What questions do you have for Matt Schneidman? 414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law fan talk and text line. Plus, in case you can't join us at 8:20, send us right now, what's the worst sporting event you've ever been to? This came up in conversation between Josh and I yesterday because if you watch that fight on Friday night, the ref came out, pulled those two together, and said fans didn't pay to see this crap.
Yeah, the Jake Paul and whoever punched him in the face fight. Yeah.
By the way, did you see that Jake Paul's career as a boxer is probably over?
Good.
You don't recover from a double broken jaw with metal in your chin and go back into the boxing ring. That's not a thing.
Yeah. No, thoughts and prayers.
Cheese and peas. Not a fan, huh?
No,
I like
good.
watching that stuff.
No, good.
All right. Matt Schneidman, The Athletic. He joins us next. And what's the worst sporting event you've ever been to? Let us know. We are Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. I am an eternal optimist. So please, God, don't tell me that you're an eternal pessimist.
I like to say I'm a realist.
Oh, it's great. We're going to get along great. This is going to be great.
This is Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
Huntley. Pass is broken up. Packers make the play defensively. Stokes was there for Green Bay. We need it here, and it's recovered by Dillon. That's it. Packers win it by 31-30.
The last time the Packers beat the Ravens, and the 1,392nd time we've played Joe Buck on this show.
Yep.
Just can't get away from the guy.
He's always there.
Trevor Thomas, Josh Albrecht.
Hi.
We are Inside Wisconsin Sports, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Joining us now on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network guest hotline, powered by Gruber Law, one call, that's all. Co-host of the Tundra podcast and beat writer for The Athletic and the Green Bay Packers, our guy Matt Schneidman. Schneid, we're putting together a football squad that is the backup to the backup, meaning you have to choose a position that you're going to play on the squad that is the backup to the backup. I'm the holder / kicker. Punter.
Yep. I'm
Josh is
the
kicker. We already have a long snapper. What are you taking?
Well, there's nothing left for me to take.
You gotta take something.
We thought you might say that.
I ain't playing anything except special teams. I would be the kicker. I played soccer my whole life. I hit a 42-yard field goal last year on the Titletown fields. Josh, you're off the team. I'm in your spot.
Oh wow,
cut already.
Wow,
oh, good run.
Yeah, I was. What's my claim to fame? I was cut as backup to the backup kicker.
You're the bowler.
Woof.
All right, Schneid, we badly need to move on from the Bears. And yet your article that you wrote up about the game and now what kind of happens there post-game, it's hard to move on from something like that. So any advice on how we move on?
Well, there's another game in what, 4 days? So you have to move on because the Packers could be in the playoffs by Thursday night. If the Lions lose to the Vikings on Christmas Day, then the Packers have a playoff berth wrapped nicely under the tree before they take the field on Saturday. Now, if the Lions win, then the Packers just have to win one of their final 2 games, or the Lions could lose to the Bears in Week 18 and the Packers are in. So I think the way to move on is realize that the Packers have a pretty good shot to make the playoffs. And if you're in the dance, then you got a chance, especially in an NFC that seems to have a lot of parity this year. And your most likely first-round matchup is another trip to Soldier Field. And I think the Packers are the better team than the Bears. They collapsed, obviously, at the end of last Saturday's game, and the Bears won, so you got to give them credit for that. But if I'm a Packer fan, especially if you can get your quarterback healthy, I feel good about my chances going into Soldier Field one more time.
Matt, talk to me a little bit just about the injury status and what the likelihood is that we don't have one of the 2 quarterbacks we're used to playing in this game at Lambeau against the Ravens.
Yeah, well, on the transaction wire yesterday, the Packers did not try out any quarterbacks. So I would take that as somewhat of a sign that they feel good, at least Jordan Love or Malik Willis will be ready. I know Schefter said on McAfee that his understanding is one of those guys will be ready. The concussion protocol is tricky because it's not like a feel thing. It's not Josh Jacobs. Okay, you can push through an ankle injury. You can push through a knee injury. It's a very black and white, step-by-step process that you have to check off in order to play. This league takes head injuries pretty seriously, at least. And it's a more strenuous of a return to play process than any other injury. Malik Willis, his throwing shoulder,
is different than Love, who injured his left shoulder earlier this season against the Giants. So that's going to be tricky. Matt LaFleur called that a legitimate deal, a legitimate injury when he spoke with us on Sunday. So they don't officially practice today. We have availability. LaFleur talks around 1:30, and then they have open locker room a couple hours later. Their only practice in front of us for the week is tomorrow. They don't have any availability on Christmas Day either. So we don't really have too many chances this week to see them in action. But this could be a Jordan Love Malik Willis game. It could be a Jordan Love Clayton Tune game. It could be a Malik Willis Clayton Tune game. So I really don't know, which is why if you ask me for a prediction, I have no idea what I'd go with because I don't know who's playing quarterback.
That's valid. I don't want to give any either. We predicted too many things that were right last week, Josh and I. We were maybe going to steer clear of that because they all accidentally came true. If the Lions do lose on Thursday night to the Vikings, Thursday afternoon, do the Packers choose not to put somebody like Jordan Love or Josh Jacobs or anybody else on the team that's banged up and we really need rest from? Or is that just not how Matt LaFleur is wired?
That's a good question because during the regular season finale last year, they had the 7 seed locked up, and I think Jacobs got banged up, and then they pretty much rested him for the rest of the game. I think if you ask Matt LaFleur that question, he would say, we got to win. We got to take care of business. We're not going to let the other results affect what we do. But realistically, that will slip in their mind, especially since I don't think they're locked into the 7 seed yet, but it seems likely that they'll get it, especially after the 49ers won last night. So that would naturally creep in. If Jordan Love is, fine to play, but could use another week, maybe they rest him. But you're never going to say that at the podium because that would look like, oh, we can beat the Ravens with Malik Willis, and you don't want to give them that bulletin board material if you're Matt LaFleur. So would he admit that mindset, Trevor? No, but I think that it would creep in for sure.
Matt, we were very frustrated with Matt LaFleur and the communication from him and the coaching staff to the team earlier on in the year. And it was all but said that if the Packers didn't make the playoffs, you would think for sure Matt LaFleur was gone. Now, this team has gone through the most injuries I can remember for a long time, especially impactful injuries throughout the season, especially in the last couple of games. Do you think that changes anything if the Packers are to still not make the playoffs for Matt LaFleur's job security?
I think if they miss the playoffs, he's still gone. But A, I don't think they're going to miss the playoffs. And B, it probably adds a layer to the discussion if they do miss the playoffs and something else for Ed Policy to think about. Because if they miss the playoffs, you can't ignore the fact that they don't have Tucker Kraft, Micah Parsons, Devontae Wyatt, Elton Jenkins, all these important guys, and that has to factor into your evaluation. But at the end of the day, I think missing the playoffs would be a bad look because it's not just the injuries that have caused that. It was the offensive stagnancy against the Eagles. It was the collapse against the Browns. It was and some of this was on the defense. The Cowboys game, obviously, you can't really put that on the floor, but how much do you put on the head coach, and not just the offense, but the culture he sets and how the locker room responds to these injuries? If you look at how the team responds to that Micah Parsons injury with a loss and then another loss, and then if they miss the playoffs, it'd be 2 more losses. Granted, those might not all be on the offense. It might not all be on LaFleur's play calling. It might not all be on, coaching. It could be on execution. Like, it's not LaFleur's fault that Romeo Doubs botched that onside kick, but
no, it's Rich Bisaccia's, yeah.
Is there something to be said for you couldn't get your team up to respond to this stuff? We need someone else to lead this team. I'm not saying that would be Ed Policy's thought, but maybe it would be. I still think LaFleur's gone if they miss the playoffs, regardless of how it happens. But it certainly adds another layer to that evaluation if they do because of everything they've been through.
Matt Schneidman, the Packers beat writer for The Athletic and the co-host of the Tundra podcast, along with John Kuhn. He joins us here on Inside Wisconsin Sports. So if we're looking at this team and the scheme and all the things, then you get into a presser with Matt LaFleur, and you've got reasonable questions like, hey, What's wrong with Malik Willis? He stared right through you and said, shoulder. Is it hard? Maybe is it harder this year than in comparison to years prior? It just doesn't feel like Matt LaFleur is giving us much of anything this year. Maybe that's just me.
Well, what more do you want him to say than shoulder?
What more did you want him to say than shoulder? You're the one that asked the question. Is that what you were looking for?
Well, I asked what his injury was, and he said shoulder. That's exactly what I was looking for.
Just a one-word answer.
What more is he supposed to say?
I'm asking you.
Well,
you're the guy that writes the articles, so that's my point.
I thought you asked me the question since you were under the impression that I wanted more. I asked him what injury he's dealing with, and he said he's dealing with a shoulder injury.
So did that give you the answer that you were looking for? And as a fan/radio host, I look at that and go, but is there a reason why he doesn't want to give us more?
Give us the severity of the shoulder injury.
Yeah,
how bad it
throw?
Some details. That's what Trevor's saying.
Well, no coach is ever going to reveal all that stuff. He said it's a legitimate shoulder injury. That's about as much as Matt LaFleur is going to give. If you're going to pick and choose, what Matt LaFleur answers to say, oh, I wish I had a little more, I would not choose that one. And oftentimes, I'm saying this respectfully. I don't know what more you would want him to say about that.
Does it seem this way, Schneid, though, this year that there seems to be a lot of questions that are just for instance, Bill Huber asked him, hey, what'd you think of the hit? And LaFleur said, well, what'd you think of the hit? And I'm as somebody sitting back, I'm going, does he just not want to give us any inside information? Because his answers just seem very filtered, maybe is the best way to put it.
This is how he's always been. He's never given too much at the podium. He's never bashed players. He's never given too much injury information, and that's not in his contract to do that. He has no incentive to give us any of that information. And on that answer about the helmet to helmet hit, there's no incentive for him to, if he thinks that it was a really dirty hit, which I'm not sure it was, because Jordan Love kind of lowered his head into it as well. It's unfortunate what happened. Even if he says, oh, it was a lame hit, it was a dirty hit, it's not the best look after you collapse against the Bears to be complaining about something the Bears do, because it might look that, you're blaming that game on that hit, even if that's not what you're doing. So Matt LaFleur, I think, is calculated in the fact that he doesn't want to give anybody else bulletin board material. He is very wary of the perception that some of his answers might give off. He's never going to throw anybody under the bus. And as reporters, you're like, all right, well, be more honest, be more transparent. But that's not in his job description. He doesn't have to be hooked up to a lie detector when he's at the podium. He has to say things that can answer questions while also protecting his team. So I get that. Obviously, we want him to tell us, who's going to start at quarterback or who's going to be questionable, but it does not benefit his team at all, and I understand that.
Matt, in the next segment, after we're done talking with you, we're talking about the worst sporting events that you've ever been to, you've attended in person. The fact that you're wearing a Yankee cap right now, people that know you're a big Yankee fan. If you're not seeing him doing that, it's because you're not watching us right now on Twitter or YouTube at WI Sports Radio. But before I get yours, I want to say my second, the one in number 2, is when I went to see the Brewers take on the Yankees at Yankee Stadium to celebrate my birthday. Zach Greinke on the mound, and he didn't make it out of the first inning for the first time in his career, and they got shelled by the Yankees. Super great trip to New York. Hated it. So your Yankees can go fly a kite. But do you, as a fan, have anything that sticks out as a sporting event you attended that just was just the worst?
Yeah, Game 3 of the World Series last year. We were on the way back from the Packers-Jaguars game, and I stopped in New York City to go to Game 3, Yankees-Dodgers. And I spent about $1,700 of my own money for a standing room only ticket behind the right field bleachers. Freddie Freeman hit a 2-run homer in the first inning, and the Yankees lost 4-2 to go down 3-0 in the World Series. That was awful.
Sorry for bringing it up. That was real. Recent.
Yeah. That came out as if you think about that once a week.
No, it's just the one that popped into my head. I thankfully haven't been to too many heartbreaking events in person. But yeah, that one wasn't great.
Schneid, one more Packers before we let you go. What should the expectation of a Packers fan be? I mean, to say we're banged up is an understatement, yet perceivably we should be a playoff team. Should we go into the playoffs and or through these next two games with high hopes, or just hang on and enjoy the ride?
Yeah, I think at this point you aren't playing with house money, but I think that's good because it adds a little bit of pressure, and I think a little bit of pressure is good. I think a Packer fan should have expectations of probably a first round win and hopes of a run further. I think there's optimism that can be drawn from the fact that there is more parity in this league. I do think the Seahawks and Rams are a step above everybody else, but not a big step. So expectations, you make the playoffs. I think you should feel good if you're going into Chicago wild card round. And then after that, I think it's house money, not just because of the injuries, but just because, well, maybe it is because of the injuries, but I think it shouldn't be like maybe the expectation going into Philly last year. You didn't really expect to win that game. But I think the Packers can win any game, regardless of who they have on the field. That's just what the NFL is this year. So I wouldn't be all doom and gloom just yet.
So you're saying there's a chance.
Oh, yeah.
Matt Schneidman, The Athletic in the Tundra podcast. Thanks for jumping on, bud. Good to see you. Have a great Christmas, man.
Yep.
Thanks, guys. You too.
The Wisconsin Sports Radio Network guest hotline powered by Gruber Law. One call. That's all. When we come back, what's your answer? What's the worst sporting event you've ever been to? Shout out to Jeff in Fox Point who dropped this to us a few weeks back. Because let's be real, you didn't pay to see that crap, whatever it was, just like the fight on Friday night. The Nicolay Law Fan Talking text line, 414-677-1250. We are inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook.
y'all come in. Both y'all come in. Both y'all come in. Listen, the fans didn't pay to see this crap, okay?
Amen.
You're going to fight, but fight within the rules, okay? Touch him up, fight clean.
Touch him up and fight clean. The quote of the century from the ref in the boxing match. Is it a ref?
Yeah.
Official?
Official.
The boxing match with Jake Paul from Friday night when he got his jaw broken in 2 spots. Wasn't the cleanest match of all matches by any means. Maybe it's because he's not a boxer.
Yeah, it might do it.
But that got us thinking here on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. What is the worst sporting event you've ever been to? Did you ever have a moment where you went, God, I didn't pay to see this crap?
Yeah,
414
there's a bunch.
414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law Fan Talk and Text line. There very well may be a bunch, but we're curious if any of those stand out to you. What was the worst game you've ever been at? Josh, you go first.
It's really tough for me. First, that as far as like a financial commitment, it was absolutely the one I just brought up with Matt Schneidman, of the whole family. Like me and my parents, girlfriend at the time, went out to New York, celebrate my birthday. Never been to Yankee Stadium. I see the Brewers, Zach Greinke, one of my favorites, on the mound, and he goes 2/3 of an inning and gets pulled for the first time in his career. He doesn't get out of the first inning. That was really tough. Total. The biggest heartbreak, I think, might have been, though, Game 7 of the NLCS.
Mm-hmm.
When
2018, right?
Yep. And I was right along. I had a seat right along the third baseline, and seeing that catch that should have gotten over his head. I'm blanking on the Dodger player right now, and I'm glad I am. But that was just the ultimate heartbreak. That was a rough ride home.
That's my number one.
Is it?
Unfortunately, I've been to a lot of the games that I researched for this, so I have many to choose from, but that's definitely my number one. Is it to be one game away from the World Series at home against the Dodgers in Game 7 in 2018. I've said this before. I still, to this day, have not seen any video of the Dodgers celebrating on then Miller Park Field, because as the final out was happening, I turned around and walked.
Yeah.
And I've only done that a couple times where the loss was going to hurt so bad that I literally turn around before it ends and I walk. And I'm there till the end, but I don't want to watch the end. Unfortunately, I did watch the end of the NFC Championship game back in, 2008? Packers 20, Giants 23. Brutal cold, brutally cold. Coldest game I've ever been at Lambeau Field. Toe warmers on the pre-Trevor bearded cheeks. I think I had one on my forehead. I had hair back then, shut it. It was cold, man, to the point where you couldn't even drink a beer without it freezing.
Yeah. Yeah,
but that's number one for me.
That one was the Packer games are also really rough. The 2021 NFC divisional round game against the 49ers, Packers favorites at home, freezing cold.
Number one seed.
Yep. Super cold game. And then that was the game that the blocked punt happened. 49ers get the touchdown. I was in the end zone. I saw it right there. I was ready to leave right there. There was still game to go. And I was like, that's it. Time to leave. That was a really tough one. The thing, though, to answer your question and the way that this all came to be, when you said, like you said, fans didn't pay to see this crap, right? So when I think about it from like a monetary value, I think that's the commitment that goes along with when you're seeing an away game, right? This isn't just a 20-minute drive for you or a 2-hour drive for me to Lambeau, or you down here for a Brewer game, right? For people that flew to see a game.
Oh, you mean like a tie at Cowboys this year? Like that?
Like a tie?
I didn't even consider that until just now.
That's what I'm saying. Those are tough.
Definitely didn't pay to see that crap or get hit in the head with a towel.
Jose from Tosa on the YouTube stream, which of course you can be watching us on Twitter or YouTube at WI Sports Radio, said, took my dad to experience Lambeau for the first time ever at that Ravens blowout game that they lost 23-0. Rodgers not in the game. He said it was brutal. That's rough too when it's your first, hey dad, I'm going to finally get you to Lambeau. We're going to go see the hallowed grounds. They get shut out, blanked. Rodgers isn't even in. Woof.
The Badgers championship game versus Penn State. That was the Big Ten championship. Domination of the first half, and then the rest of it happened. That is the truth. They got up to a 14-0 lead in that game, if memory serves me right. There's a bunch to choose from, though. I mean, a bunch, right? Like, upon just a little bit of review, we've already named 3 of what I put down as the top 5. Packers-Giants, where it just stung that you spent any money to freeze in the cold and watch Favre's last game. We mentioned it. Brewers 1, Dodgers 5, Game 7 of the NLCS. You just brought it up. Packers 10, Niners 13. The NFC divisional playoff game when the Packers were the number 1 seed, and I believe should absolutely have won that game, if memory serves me right, just from the game's play-out perspective.
Yep.
The NFC championship game, January 24th, 2021, there's probably not a lot of people that feel like they didn't spend money to see that crap because there was very few people in attendance at that NFC championship game when Tom Brady and the Buccaneers came to Lambeau Field and beat the Packers 31-26. Not many people were there because that was still COVID. That was the end of the COVID season.
Right. I wonder how many people that are were feeling that way about the game in Denver, right? If you are a Packer fan and you flew out to Denver to see that game, you paid for the flight, the hotel, you're out there, you're like, hey, Packers don't get out to Colorado that often. This is a good opportunity for us to go. You go to whatever it is now, Mile High Stadium, whatever it is, and you see the team absolutely collapse, plus season ending, potentially for the whole team, injuries. Woof.
Do you remember this one? And I'm curious to know if you were there. 2015 Bucks playoffs, Game 6, Bradley Center, April 30th, 2015. The Bucks lost to the Bulls 120-66.
I was not there.
Do you remember this? An all-time humiliation game, a 50-point series clinching rout at home.
No, I don't. And I think that's part of it though that goes along with this question is I don't remember the 2015 Bucks being talked about as being able to be anything. So yeah, maybe they lost, but is it different if you go, well, yeah, but did we expect them to be there? The ref said fans didn't pay to see this crap. I feel like if a fan went to that Bucks game, yeah, that performance, that's one you remember.
The Badgers national championship game, when it was in Indy against Duke, when the refs screwed them in the second half, that gives you the feeling of I didn't pay to see this crap, right? When something else happens in the game, horrendous loss. Grayson Allen trip.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm sweating now. Here's some honorable mentions as we continue to peruse the Nicolay Law fan talk and text line. Apparently, JB and the 920 and Trevor's Troll are besties.
Yeah, it's kind of funny, though. Trevor's Troll's creative. It's funny.
Honorable mentions. See if you remember these guys. Falcons 27, Packers 7, NFC wildcard loss at Lambeau in 2003. You remember that?
No.
Me neither. I was just fresh out of high school at that point and not paying attention to life in general.
Yeah.
Giants 37, Packers 20. It was the NFC divisional game at Lambeau in 2012. A 15-1 season that year ended at home, and it never felt like the Packers had a chance in that game. Here's one that I don't recall either. Lions 31, Packers 0. It was the regular season finale in 2018. A shutout to end the year, plus the fake field goal touchdown from the Lions. It was the definition of I paid to see this crap.
Yeah. I remember that was a rough one. Someone also brought up the Aaron Rodgers last home game, which I think was also against the Lions.
It was.
And how you're expecting to at least have some, good memory.
Well, if memory serves me right, if Rodgers would have led the Packers to a victory that game, they would have made the playoffs.
Yeah.
It was 2 years in a row at Lambeau. The Lions beat the Packers in their final home game. Okay, this is kind of a funny story from those games, if I might, for just a second.
Yeah.
So both of those games we went to with the same couple, and both were the way that it ended. And I don't know if you and your friends do this, but every once in a while, if we all get together and really go on a bender, we have what's called the Drunk Award, meaning who wins the trophy from last night's performance.
Oh, nice.
that little camera that they have at Lambeau Field, when you can scan the entire stadium.
Yeah.
Both times those took pictures of one of the 4 in our group, absolutely sealing the deal on the Drunk Award. It was fantastic.
Oh, that's nice to have the photographic evidence.
It was amazing. And I did not win either award. Thank you very much. Although I think I came in second both times.
A betting favorite.
Here's a good one. This is tough. Mets 4, Brewers 2. The NL wild card, game 3. And fam.
Oh, Tommy prepping for the next show. Going, yep, that's mine.
Seriously.
Yeah, that was bad.
That was Yuke's final call, right?
Yeah. Yep. Oh, that just makes it a million times worse.
Well, you're going to end it on that one. How about that?
Woof.
All right. Any others here on the Nicolay Law Fan Talking text line? 414-677-1250. What's the worst game you've ever been to where you left feeling, I paid to see that crap?
Yeah, especially if it's one that you committed. Like, I want to know if it doesn't even have to be like there was a lot on the line, but just a lot on the line for you. Like, if you traveled, if it was an away game, if you had to pack up the car and drive with the whole family or it was a whole weekend getaway for the whole family. Remember when they went out to Vegas? Or I wasn't there, but man, I'd imagine anyone that paid to go to London. London's not a cheap flight.
So true.
And you go out to London, how many thousands of dollars did you pay to see that loss? Woof. You didn't pay for that crap.
Boy, I almost went to that too. It wouldn't have worked out, but I just don't have a passport.
Was the first thing you told yourself when they lost that game?
Yes.
Glad I didn't pay to go see that.
Yep. That's exactly how I felt coming back from Dallas when I did pay to go see that crap. Here's an interesting one. So my buddy Mike just texted me and said, so me and a buddy go to the Final Four when Wisconsin, it was in Dallas. Bad enough that the Badgers lost on essentially the last shot to make it to the national title game that year.
Yep.
But they decide they're going to stay for the national title game. And on the day off in between, they're going to go to the first ever NASCAR event that these guys have been to, the Duck Dynasty 500 or whatever it was called. We're both hungover to beat the band and had to pay about $150 for a cab ride to get out of there. And then it rained, and then we never saw a single lap. Needless to say, I was pretty sour on NASCAR. Can you imagine that?
Oh, yeah.
You got a 3-day trip, the trifecta of trifectas. Final Four, national championship, could have been the Badgers, and you're going to a NASCAR race. You watch the Badgers lose on the last shot. They're not in the national championship game, and you didn't see a single lap. I'd say that's
pretty
something
bad.
You didn't want to pay to see that crap.
See, I went down to Atlanta. I drove down to Atlanta with Julie to celebrate our 1-year anniversary of dating by seeing Wichita State in the Final Four. And they lost. To Louisville. But I don't look at that as I didn't pay to see this crap because they weren't the favorite to win the game. And so I was just celebrating that they were there. So I feel like the Final Four, if you're going to the Final Four to see your team, yeah, it might hurt, but you're still celebrating that they made it to the Final Four.
Good morning, Sports Talk. Adam in Wausau checking in. What's up, Adam? Thanks for the text. My very first Packers game was Monday Night Football, and we lost to the Tennessee Titans 41-14 or something like that. That sucked.
Big loss.
Yeah, your first one, too. That's tough. A buddy of mine named Brian texted me and said the Badgers losing to Duke in the 2015 Natty has to be on the list because of the drive back. I mean, if you see that, there's a lot of people that went to that game and drove back afterwards.
Oh, yeah.
That's a long ride.
Yeah.
Through Illinois, too.
Woof. Yeah, not great. When there's a big loss like that in any sport, do you turn on like the post game in like those season-ending moments? Because the person that I used to work with, that I was at that divisional game that the Packers lost 13-10, we're in traffic, bumper to bumper, trying to get out of Lambeau, and he wants to listen to callers. And I'm just like, the last thing I want to hear right now is Jim going, oh, I can't believe that. Like, I was way too pissed to listen to that. I was like, this is making it so much worse. Please, no.
Ohio State versus Wisconsin, Big Ten championship game. Forgot about this one. 38-0 at half, 59-0 was the final.
Yeah.
This one left at halftime. Don't blame you one bit there. That's absolutely brutal.
See, all of these aren't as bad as the Packers loss to the Bears on Sunday. These are way worse.
We're trying to help. We're trying to help. Here's another one. November 1999. Holmgren returns to Lambeau with the Seahawks, and the Packers turn the ball over 7 times. That is the situation where you definitely didn't show up to see that crap. There, see? You're welcome, Wisconsin. We're just trying to make it feel better that we didn't absolutely implode against the Bears this past weekend.
Let's see. The 262 said, huge Bucks fan here. Last year, I tagged along to a Celtics playoff game with a bunch of coworkers. The atmosphere was electric. I just stood there, lifeless, the entire time, like a pencil. Drew didn't even play.
Hopefully you didn't pay for that.
Yeah, I was going to say, hopefully that was a free ride. Woo.
All right, when we come back, what's up, Wisconsin? What do you got going on tonight? One more show for you on Christmas Eve tomorrow, and then we're off for Thursday, obviously, for Christmas and Friday. Nice that we get a little 2-day weekend heading into a Saturday game against the Ravens here at Lambeau Field in Green Bay. So what are you up to tonight? What are you doing to get ready for Christmas? I have a lot of shopping to do. Shocker. I know.
Oh, boy. Yeah, let's talk about it.
By the way, if you missed any segment of today's show or any other show, you can listen anytime on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Just search Inside Wisconsin Sports, and you'll be able to find it there. Hit the follow button, catch up on whatever episode you missed, whatever hour, whatever highlight, whatever segment. We're grateful that you are here and joining us there as well. It's Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook.
Trevor and Josh want to know.
What's up?
What's up, Wisconsin?
What's up?
What's your plan for the day?
What's up?
What are you doing tonight?
What's up?
Let us know what's up on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
Philly Law Fan Talking text line 414-677-1250. What's up, Wisconsin? What's going on tonight, tomorrow? Josh, what's up?
Oh, boy. I mean,
Mr. Mom is done. Mr. Mom is over.
Yeah. Julie, back home. We survived. We survived. The whole house didn't burn down and fall apart, so that was nice. There's still a ton of stuff to get ready, though. A few more presents to wrap, but the big thing is that we're hosting. And we're not just hosting like the day of. Julie's family, her brother and his family are flying in from the East Coast. And so we're going to have people over at the house multiple days, which means you can't just like stuff things in a closet.
Overnight?
Not overnight,
okay,
but like they'll be over, like they'll go to a hotel sleep or Airbnb sleep and then be back the next day. So it's a little bit of a rough patch that's coming through. I got a little bit more work to do, cleaning and everything else. And it's just crazy that Christmas Eve tomorrow.
I know, it's wild. It really, when it falls in the middle of the week like this, it feels like it sneaks up on you because, I got one more weekend to shop. And then you go shop and you're like, all right, I got a week or so to get all the last minute. Nope, sure don't.
No, you don't.
I got like today and I will shop tomorrow. I'm that guy. I love it.
So then how do you wrap? Like, and then you go home, you wrap it right away?
Not well.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I feel like I need a get the present day and then a wrap day. I can't do both in the same day.
So I will do some wrapping. I should say I will try to do some wrapping today. My wife is working in the office today. Our boys are home, so I can wrap my wife's gifts and put those under the tree. Here's the problem. I absolutely despise wrapping gifts. Despise it. The very few things rattle me to the core where I get super sweaty and annoyed. One is putting up the Christmas tree because we get a real tree every year.
Mm-hmm.
And that godforsaken tree stand never works the way I want it to the point where this year it was so busted. I sent Amanda to Menards in the heat of the moment to go and get screws. You know what? Screw it. I'm just going to rip 4 screws into this thing.
Screw it. I'm going to screw it.
Up.
Yeah.
Screw it. So that's one. But 2, wrapping presents, man. Listen, me and the geometry weren't fans. I don't know how to do it. I don't know what to measure where. I don't fold. And I've been people have tried to train me.
I know. I'm right there. Mine suck. I still do it, but I've tried so many times. So are you telling me if there's only like one or two gifts that you're a bag guy? Your bag with the paper?
No, I can't. I mean, I am for like gift exchanges and stuff like that. But even for that, I try to wrap. So we have a really fun gift exchange in my family. Really fun one.
Yeah.
And that's on Saturday. On Saturday, we all walk in to my in-laws' house. When I say we all, I mean all of the adults. And now I think Rhodey is on because he's in high school as well. Yeah, last year was his first year. We all walk in with 6 gifts. 3 of them have to be $10. 2 are $20 and 1 is $60.
Damn.
And you go and buy gifts that are male or female neutral, meaning let's please not buy like puffy pink socks for the dudes that are in it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And vice versa. Bottles of booze show up. There's rules. There's all sorts of rules. But one of the main rules is you can't buy a gift card because you need to be more creative than that. Okay? That's on Saturday. I'm not quite finished with my actual Christmas shopping that needs to happen by Christmas Eve and or Christmas morning for our family. And I haven't even started on the gift exchange yet.
Wow, you are behind.
No, I'm right on time.
Oh,
I'm
dude.
actually going to go and shop for all of the gift exchange gifts the day after Christmas. Because I'm going to be able to absolutely nail expensive gifts that are on sale.
I couldn't do it. So I have like one more thing I got to pick up. And then I have one side of my family does a white elephant gift exchange for the adults. And I love it.
I got that. Holy crap. I have that Friday night too. I don't have that yet either.
Dude, you got to make a list. You're to the point of needing to make a list. But the thing is, white elephant gift exchanges can vary so much, right? Sometimes there's a limit. You got to spend $30. You got to spend $20, blah, blah, blah. There's nothing with this. It can be absolutely whatever. And a lot of times it's things that were already in your house. So essentially, as I'm doing 2 birds with one stone, as I'm finishing cleaning up the basement, today for when we have guests coming. I'm
gift.
also finding 2 white elephant gifts, one for me, one from Julie, to throw in this thing of stuff. In the past, I gave away a sombrero, which I wrapped to make not look like a sombrero. And then the other one was a golf putting mat that hadn't been used in 30 years. Those were the 2 things. So we'll see what I find this year. But I got that on the list to do too. Let's hear it. Yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I just remembered. So this white elephant gift thing on Friday night was my idea. And here's the problem. I completely forgot about it up until right now. So this is our white elephant rule. It is between $20 and $25, PG-13 or under, and funny. Hope that helps.
Yeah, well, funny is subjective.
A buddy of mine told me that he went to Spencer's in the mall and he bought those fake lottery tickets.
Oh, yeah.
Where you scratch those off and you win like 10 grand and then you got to flip it over and it says for entertainment only.
Yeah.
He took this to a party. She scratched it off. It was an older woman and she was livid when she found out they were fake.
Oh, I'm not even kidding. My uncle had the same thing happen. He still talks about it.
No way.
And this was when I was like 7, dude. And literally, I just saw him last weekend and we had legit scratchers we were all scratching off. And he said to me, "Hope this one's real." And I'm like, that was like 25 years ago. And you're still scarred.
Yep.
From the fake lotto. Woo.
Jason in the 920. Working today, then off until the 5th. Let's go. Wrapping presents, making apple crisp tomorrow, family stuff for Christmas Day, and then ice fishing for a week.
Dude,
I've been to this. I've been to we call it Camp Cocktail, just outside of Minocqua. That's the cabin that he's talking
love
about.
Minocqua.
I inquired to see if I could disappear with my family up there for a few days, and he said, absolutely not. We have our ice fishing trip. To which I said, that's great. And I'm not that I was invited, but I'm not coming because I don't want to be hungover for 3 days. It's just different in this.
Could find a way.
Yeah, well,
based on how sports are going.
Yeah, that's also true. All right, so some Christmas shopping and some gift gathering and some tort making, and then it's going to be here. And so tomorrow morning, Josh and I'm going to pin this on you live on the air right now. You have no idea this is coming.
Sure don't.
Tomorrow, you and I are going to write a letter to Santa on behalf of a Wisconsin sports fan. Okay. Santa, this is all I'm looking for Christmas this year, man. I just need this one thing for Christmas from you, and everything would be right in the world. Just let me get this one thing.
Does it have to be realistic? Because
No.
just like I tell the kiddos sometimes, like Santa can't make everything happen. Because otherwise, that's the easiest letter I've ever written.
And we're writing a letter to Santa, not God.
Okay. Okay. That's all right. That's fair. I'm there are rules. Okay.
If you could just search the North Pole for this one thing and
What a
grab
line.
it, put it in your little bag. Yeah, to Santa, not God.
We're writing a letter to Santa, not God.
So that's tomorrow. Plus, I want to know if we can speed up a top 5 list tomorrow, Josh, that we're not going to be here on Friday. I want to know the top 5 Christmas cookies that are on your list.
Okay.
That got you, huh? That's going to be a
that
drop.
was really good.
I guess the rest doesn't matter. We'll put together a show for you on Christmas Eve edition of Inside Wisconsin Sports. We are here for you guys tomorrow morning when you're doing your last minute shopping because, damn it, I know I'm not alone in that category. There's a lot of dudes listening right now that can't wait to put a little Christmas magic into a coffee cup and get to the mall.
Darn right.
If you know, you know. Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. We'll see you tomorrow.
Because we're not done yet.
Santa, not God.